Okay, guys. So as I was saying, what we will do is we will first let you guys get onboarded to the platform, or I'll show you how to get onboarded to the platform, and then I will go into the training mode. Okay. So basically, to get into the platform, you have to click on this join for free button. That's a form that you have to fill up. Okay. Wisdom QA is the website. I'm going to quickly paste the website right there in the chat, in the Zoom chat. Probably you are seeing a pop-up there. You can go into the site right now, click on the join for free button, and you will see this particular form here. Okay. So you have to fill up this form. Okay. And then sign up. When you sign up, you need to basically confirm your email address, and then you can log in to the application. When you log into the application, you basically come to the dashboard page of the site, which is this guy here. And over here, this is very, very important because for next 1 month, whether you decide to stick with me after 1 month or not, for the first 1 month, I'm going to give you the full support to make your life easy in terms of learning those topics that I have mentioned, right? So in order to give you the full support, you need to join the Slack channel, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a channel right now in front of you. So we have a channel, people who have used my training earlier, they will know. So there's a channel, and in this channel, I'm going to create a new channel right now. And I will let you guys come in to this channel. So Bootcamp November 2022, and I'm creating that. And then what you do is once you are getting inside the site, which is this one, not this one here. Once you get into the site, you click on this button here, join our Slack channel. So just like that, you click on it. That will take you to the Slack channel, and you can continue with your Google account or whatever account you have selected. And once you get in this, you will basically land into the Slack channel, and then you choose the Bootcamp November 2022. And there you can come in and you can just not register, but just come into the channel. The reason for the channel is this, that in 1 month time, you will face many questions when you go through the videos, the assignments, you will face many questions. And I'm there to answer all your doubts and questions, which is why the channel is active. I mean, I have just created the channel right here. And once you get the access to it, then you get access to me and the services that I offer. Okay. So now you please create the login for the application. Also, the video that I'm recording right now, I will upload that video to the YouTube, and I will upload that link, the YouTube link, right in the channel, so that you can basically work with it. Okay, because you have to go back and forth with the video to understand certain topics that I'm explaining, right? So let's just get started with the presentation, guys. And let's see, where is that? Okay. So Test Automation Bootcamp, day 1. So I had just spoken about myself and the Wisdom QA training as a company. Let's try to understand about different types of software testing. Now, can you guys give me a thumbs up in the chat or in the Zoom itself? How many of you guys are aware of these concepts in software testing? Can you give me a thumbs up in the chat itself? Not the chat, but the participant list. If you click on the participant section, yeah, good. Okay, 3. Okay. What about Lydia, Ren, Wassim? Are you aware of software testing concepts? Lydia is good. Okay. Ren, what about you? I think I obviously know you. I know you are from software testing. What about Archana? Are you aware of these concepts? Okay. Wasim, what about you?
I would say I'm not super familiar, no.
Okay, that's good. No problem at all. That's no problem at all. So there are different ways an application is getting tested. A software application is getting tested. System testing, integration testing, regression testing, user acceptance testing, smoke testing, and sanity testing, right? Test automation is basically replacing two different testing types that is done otherwise with manual testing efforts, right? And they are regression testing and user acceptance testing. I mean, ideally, you can write automation for integration, regression, user acceptance, smoke, and sanity for all of them. But the main feature of regression testing is what software automation testing really tries to solve. I'm going to give you a quick understanding that what is regression testing looks like and how software automation testing is really solving it. So let me draw this for you. Hold on. Okay. So we are talking about a simple banking application. All right. This is a banking application. In this banking application, we have few different modules. Number one is create account. Maybe transfer fund. Okay. Apply credit card. Okay. What else? Pay bills. Right. There are okay. Come on, man. Okay. So there are these different modules that a banking system can have. Okay. Now the point is that if tomorrow there is certain changes that are happening in create account system, or maybe payable system, some new feature is getting added, or some bugs or some defects are getting fixed. Defects are getting fixed, right? As a part of our regression cycle, as you guys know about it, that you have to eventually test all the modules that are related to pay bills. For example, transfer fund is a part of your finance, like moving the transaction, moving money from one end to the other end. Or payables is also something you're trying to move the money from one end to the other end. So whatever modules are there as a part of the application, they are payables, and along with all the payables and all the other modules which are moving the money from one end to the other end, needs to be also tested. Now, the problem with the conventional manual testing effort is this. The application keeps on growing. The application has multiple defects that keeps on getting, introduced or found by users, by product owners, by the testers. So we have to fix it. Now, every time we fix it, we have to do the regression testing. So think about it. When I'm saying regression testing, you are testing the application on different OS, different operating system. You're testing the application on different browsers. You're testing the application on maybe mobile phones. Okay. Now you are testing this application over and over and over again, and you're trying to basically understand that whatever the fix that has been introduced or whatever the features that has been introduced is not breaking any existing functionality of the application. This is called regression testing, where you are trying to go through the adjacent modules to make sure that whatever changes you have introduced or the developer has introduced is not breaking something else in the application. Now, this testing is very essential. You have to do this anyway, okay, to make your application error-free, bug-free. But then it takes time. It takes huge time. When you're doing it manually, it takes huge time. So in current times, that is not something which we can afford. Whoever is from software domain, they will know that we work in sprints. We have a 2-week sprint in which we have to deliver stuff. Now, a developer or 3 or 4 developers can take maybe half a sprint to develop the feature or the bug or whatever it is. And the rest of the amount that testers are having, it is not possible to test the application unless the application is very basic, okay? It's not possible to test the application upside down and give them a green check that, yeah, application is good to be deployed. It is not possible, okay? So what we do is, in earlier times when automation was not really that advanced, people used to spend a lot of time manually testing all the test cases for different modules, along with the impacted module, and then give them a green check. But that is not the case anymore. We have to deliver things in 2 weeks' time. We cannot spend a huge amount of time just testing it, right? That is exactly where test automation comes in place. That is the reason why I was saying that regression testing is one thing which is really needs that power of automation that you need to show in. So this is exactly where the test automation comes in. So the idea is this: whatever the existing modules we have, we will use automation for that, automated testing for that, and the impacted module which has changes right now, you have made some changes right now, that piece of thing is not yet added to the automation library or to the automation suite yet. So that impacted modules will be tested through manual efforts, okay? And eventually, once you are releasing that feature or the defect, eventually, whatever you have tested manually gets converted into an automation test case, which can be again used then for the next release. So this cycle is something that you have to understand. And this cycle is what makes us deliver a product in a 2-week sprint, okay? This is what we are trying to learn here. How can we do this? Our whole idea is to help developers or help the company or the employer to ship the product faster. That is what we are up to, okay? Developer has done their job. Now tester has to do the job correctly and get the product shipped as soon as possible. We cannot bring the team down by taking a huge amount of time in testing the application over and over again. That is not how it should work. Earlier, you probably have seen for 5 developers, they will hire 3 or 4 QA engineers because automation was not that advanced that earlier days. But now things are improved. They have improved to a level where we can get 1 QA engineer or 2 QA engineer to support like 6-7 developers. That is possible now. And that is exactly what the employer is looking for because everybody has to make money, right? You cannot hire 5 manual testers to get the same thing done in a much slower space, and pay them probably the exact same money. I mean, pay them cumulatively, like five manual testers will be charging the same money that two automation tester will charge, but then eventually they will take much longer to do the job done, right? That is not something that an employer is happy to experience. And that is exactly where the automation demand is going up. And the manual testers are now trying to upgrade themselves. So whatever I just said right now, in terms of a very basic understanding, I would like to understand from you guys who are into test automation or software testing field. Do you feel the same way, or do you have another opinion about it? Archana, what do you think? Archana, what do you think? You have to unmute if you're trying to talk. You have to unmute. Hello. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes,
Please
yes. Can you please repeat? Because I cannot hear.
So whatever I have spoken so far, have you heard, or?
Yes, I have heard. You are telling the banking domain, create account, the transfer fund, how it works with the why it is automation needed. That I
Yeah,
know.
so I'm just trying to understand from your opinion. Do you feel the same way that automation is required to make the product go faster, and without that, just with manual testing, it is going to be very challenging? Do you accept that fact?
With the automation, I feel it is a bit challenging for the new persons like me, because I never work on
That was not my question. My question is, for the employer, is it a better approach to get the product shipped faster using automation, or they are?
Yeah, it is
okay.
definitely, because if it is automation checked, then it will be the no defect. You can say it's a defect free.
No, it is not a defect free. There is nothing called defect free. Defects are definitely there. The idea of automation is to ship the product faster.
Yeah.
Okay. Christy, what is your experience looks like on this?
Yeah, I think I agree with you, because where I'm currently working at the moment, I know you mentioned something about in the past, some teams would have probably needed 3 QAs to maybe 7 developers. But where I am at the moment, I'm the only QA on the team, and it's actually really stressful trying to manually test a lot of things. So like having automation testing would definitely help me. Like otherwise I'll be burnt out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How about Ellen? Ellen, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. Especially when the deployments are done and they've got to do the sanity, and even before when a new introduced function is introduced, they've got to do the whole regression, and you do it over and over and over again. And then sometimes because you do it over and over again, you miss as well some of the things, and it takes time. Yeah, so I think automation is there. Yeah, I think it will be much faster. It gives you time to work on other projects as well.
Exactly. That's my point. So the point is that with automation, it initially takes some time to create the test cases, but then those test cases can be used over and over and over again. And you are now focusing more on finding the defects by manually testing the application, maybe the critical parts, and you are finding more bugs, because automation testing is not magic. It is not going to automatically look into the application and find the bug for you. That is not what automation testing does. What automation testing does is that it repeats the steps that can perform a happy path or a negative path. Okay, So the point is that time that you are, gaining from this particular approach, even if you are performing a happy path or a failed path or a negative path, you're spending time, right? So that time is what automation is giving you, which you can then use to test the application, the critical part of the application manually, and find the bugs which are like hidden bugs, which are like edge cases, right? And you can find them, and then you can report it to the developer, and then your application gets less and less and less, bugs, right? That's the whole idea. You are gaining time with it, which you can use in a better way. That's the whole idea of automation. Anyways, thanks for your opinion there. What I'll do is I will clear the screen and let's move on to the next part. Okay, so I have discussed this part. That's fine. Okay, so now that I have spoken about testing and automation a little bit, this is where the programming is getting started, and that is Java. All right. Now the thing is, guys, you have to be very, very, very focused from now on. Okay, there is someone coming up now. Hi, Akshara. Can you hear me out? I think she's not yet in the audio. Oh, she left. Okay. Yeah, for some people it is a problem to handle this. Just give me 1 minute though. Okay, so from here on, please be very focused on whatever I'm talking about. I'm trying to get started with Core Java. Core Java is the programming language that you have to learn along with me. And guys, I don't like to have people in my training who are here just for, just to look around like what's really happening here. I want, if you are really serious about learning something for next 4 weeks, then I hope that you should respect that I'm spending my time with you. And if you are, not in that zone, then, you can probably disconnect. That's totally fine. But then for next 4 weeks, I'm expecting that you will learn along with me. Don't come here just for the sake of, be in the game or be in the session, which it means that I want you to kind of keep yourself isolated in this class. Try to stay in a calm area where you can listen to me. Don't try to be in a zone where, you have your family around and you have your kids around and there are, and you're not focused. I want you to be concentrate in this training so that you can learn something for this next 4 weeks, so that you can probably have a foundation from where you can jump off, right? Okay, so what is Java? Java is a object-oriented programming language. All right. What is object-oriented programming? I will discuss that in a while. But before that, we have to understand the 3 different core components of Java, and they are Java Virtual Machine, Java Runtime Environment, and Java Development Kit. Okay, they are the 3 different core components of Java. Okay, Java is one programming language, but they have these 3 different core components which you need to understand. So let's understand what is Java Virtual Machine. Okay. You are trying to make a system work the way you are planning to do, right? You're trying to create a program that can calculate summation between two numbers, right? That is your idea. So you cannot just say the system that, hey, you just add 2 plus 2 and give me the result. The system will not understand what is 2, what is plus, what is 2, right? You cannot just say the program that, hey, you have these two numbers, which is 2, and then you have to use an operator plus, which is plus, and then another 2, and just run it for me. And the system will give the answer to you. That is not how it will work, because the system doesn't know what is number 2, what is plus, and what is 2. It doesn't know anything. The system that we are working with, it's an electronic system. Okay, the system, the computer, the laptop, all the machines that we work with, all the gadgets they would work with, they're all electronic system. In electronics world, there is two things. One is one and a 0, which means that electricity is getting switched on and getting switched off. This is very basics for everyone out here, I suppose. Okay, so when you say 2, there is a binary code for number 2, a binary code for the plus operator, right? And then you are performing the addition between two numbers, and then you're getting the result as 4, which is having another binary code to it. So binary codes are basically a combination of 1, 1, 1 and a 0. Something like this you can write. Something like this. No 3. It's ones and zeros. This is a binary code, right? So we cannot write the program as a human. We cannot write a program in binary code. It is impossible. It is going to make me crazy or make anyone crazy. That is not possible. So to solve this problem, we have a programming language. And we are using Java here. Okay, Java is a programming language, and it is letting me write the code in simple English. Not simple English, but English with certain syntax. Okay, what do I mean by certain syntax? I mean that the programming language Java is basically telling me that in order to perform an addition, you can use plus as an operator, and I will convert that to a binary version of it. You can use 2, and I will convert that to a binary version of it. Okay, so you can eventually write a code like this saying int, which is a data type in Java, int result, that's a variable that you have created called number variable. So result is a variable that is of type integer. Okay, and you are saying that 2 plus 2. What does it mean? It means that you are computing the value of 2 plus 2 and storing that result back in a variable. Storing that back in a variable called result. So result is having the value as 4 now, which you can use in somewhere else. That is what is Java is letting me do. Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me pull down my table. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that we have a programming language called as Java, and it is coming up with syntaxes that you have to learn. And eventually you are going to create a file which is going to be with a certain extension, which is .java file. Okay, you're going to create a .java file, and then eventually you will compile, or you will convert this .java file into a bytecode. Now look at this sequence. So you are going to create a source code file, which is basically your Java file, where you write a program in simple English by following the syntax that Java is giving me. Then you're going to run a compiler. You're going to use a compiler, and this compiler will compile this source code and convert this to a bytecode, ones and zeros. And then finally, you give this ones and zeros to JVM, and JVM will run it for you. Let's try to do this experiment right now and see if this works. So I told you last during this email communication that please download Java and Eclipse in your system. Okay, so I don't know how many of you guys have done that, but what I'll do is let me show you something before I go anywhere else. I will open up my command prompt. CMD, okay. This is a Windows machine. I can use Mac also, no problem at all. And here you see, if you have installed Java the way I have explained you in the earlier videos, then it will go Java version. If you write this line here, and if you hit enter, then eventually you will get the result as this, which says that you have Java 11 installed in your system. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a simple Java file right in front of you. Okay. I'm going to open up, let me go inside this folder, which is this Wisdom QA folder. And I'm going to create a simple Java file in front of you, but we generally don't create the Java files in a folder like this. We do it in a Eclipse. We do it in a integrated development environment. But to get started with, let us try to create one right here. Just a second here. New text document. Okay, simple text document. And let's name this document as Java demo. Okay, Java demo. And this is for November batch, November 2022. That's the name of this file. So I'll copy this name of this file, and I will just open this file. Okay. Once I open this file, that's the file. That's a normal notepad file, nothing fancy here. I'm going to write some syntax that is offered by Java, and the syntax is obviously in English. So we go like this. We say public, okay, class, and whatever the name of the file is, I'm going to give the same name like this, and I'm going to create an open bracket and a close bracket. Okay. Think of this area as a scope or a working platform under which you want to execute something. Okay. So this is basically a class. A class has a much more broader understanding, which I'll give you in a later stage. But for now, think of this as a simple kind of a scope or a working ground where you want to execute something. So under this class, you're going to keep another entity, and we call this as, so here this guy is called as a class, Java class, and then we're going to call this another one. So whatever you see here, double dash, double slash, is basically a comment. So which means that this section will be ignored by the program, okay? The next thing that I'm trying to create here is a method. So public static void main. Now, whatever I'm writing here, it is English, but you are not understanding what is happening here because it's a syntax defined by Java, okay? Which I will explain when I explain things, okay, one by one. It will make sense to you. But for now, just see how it is working, okay? And then I'm creating an array of string array args, and then I'm gonna close this scope. All right, so what did you see? What are we seeing? We are seeing a Java class here, and then we are seeing a method here. Okay, again, this section will be ignored by Java program. So you have created a workbench, which is a Java demo, November 2022, that's a class. And inside that, you are creating a method. Okay, now this is the method will actually have a printout statement, a statement that will print out something on the console. So it will go something like this: system dot out dot println, and over here I'm just going to say welcome to November batch, something like this. So when I run this program, eventually this line needs to be printed into the console. Okay, that is what I wrote as a part of the simple program. Now this file is a text file. We can convert this file into a .java file. So we go the same file over here, we say save as type. We can say all files, and then at the end we just say .java, just like that. Okay, so if you open the file again, which is a .java file, the name is same. File type is text document. Did I keep it in the same location or not? Okay, these are the Java files I have here. And here you go. Java demo November 2022. If I open this file, there is no change. Look into it. Same exact file. Just that the extension of this file is .java, not txt. Okay? If I run this program, if I try to run this program, I will not be able to run this program. Why? Because this is simple English. Your Java virtual machine, the machine which is there to execute your program, will not be able to read this. Okay? What can I do now? I need to then compile this source file into a byte code, the source code into a byte code using compiler. So when you install Java, you by default install a compiler as well out of the box. So what we can do is we can simply go back to the same location where I have the file. So you see I'm doing cd, and this is the location where I have the file. And I can just say Java C, all right? And I can just say Java demo, Java demo, okay? November 2022.java. I am trying to compile this to bytecode, this file to a bytecode. And if I hit enter, you will see the compilation is done. But how do you know the compilation is done? You will know the compilation is done because now I will go down and you will see that there's a new file created here called Java demo 2022 November 2022. And this file is a class file. So this file is there already. It is still there. Java file is still there, but you just created another file, which is the compiled version of it. It's a class file. Okay. If I open this file now, look, it is gibberish. It got compiled to a machine language that is only readable by the machine and not by humans. But the machine can now execute this file. How can I execute this file? It's very simple. You go back to the same location and you can say, just say Java, and give the name of the file, Java demo. Okay, you don't even have to say .class. Don't say class, just say this, hit enter. Look, it got executed, and you know that because it got printed, right? If I want to execute the Java file, like so, just say Java and then the Java file. You get the error. Error, class found on the application class path. Something that will not make sense to you. Okay? Ideally, it is not able to understand how to run this program because that's not a compiled version of the file. So whatever I showed you so far, Lydia, do you think it is super hard to understand?
No, I'm not very familiar with Java, but I have experience with other commands, so this is quite straightforward.
Good. But you understand what is really happening. You understand that a compilation is required for a program to be executable, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not readable, but this is it's like a language, but not the human language, but like machine, as you said, the machine language, right? So we need to like kind of a translation for it. So
perfect.
Translation.
That is what I'm doing with Java C, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Archana, what do you think? You have done this exercise before?
Yeah, just I'm aware about it. We have to write the code in simple English, and it will convert into the.
It is not a simple English. It is a syntax that is
Yeah,
offered by Java.
English. Yeah.
And then you have to compile the code into a binary format.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And
good stuff.
It's a bit
And
difficult.
then you can, yeah, I mean, this is not difficult. This is the basic. Things will get much more difficult.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to the next part of the program. Okay, so this is the JVM, all right? Now let's move on and try to understand what is JRE, Java Runtime Environment. What is that, okay? So JRE is an actual implementation of JVM. JVM is basically a hypothetical element, okay? But JRE is actually the implementation of JVM and certain libraries that will let you perform different kind of tasks with Java. Okay, for example, you want to convert a string to a number. So there is an inbuilt library for that you can use to make that happen. So those libraries comes along with JVM to make you write a good code. Okay, so JRE is basically a combination of these two. And then you have JDK. What is JDK? JDK is basically the tool that combines JRE and dev tools like Java C and Java, everything that comes along with JDK, Java Development Kit. Why do I need these three different things, right? You need these three different things. I mean, JVM is a common thing for both JDK and JRE, but you will require two different things, JDK or JRE, depending on what you are acting as. If you are a developer, if you're developing an application, you would require a JDK. Why? Because you want to code the application, you want to code the program, you want to compile the program, okay? You want to ship the program to your client, okay? This guy right here, who is a client, for this person, it doesn't matter which environment the developer has used to develop the source code. Why? Because at the end of the day, when you compile this code, you are basically converting a Java file, .java file, to a .class file. You're eventually doing that. Okay? This class file is the main file that this guy is concerned about. Now, this class file is something that is sent from the developer to the client. Client doesn't need to perform any compilation anymore, okay? Because class file means it is already compiled. They don't have to do the compilation again. They can simply use JRE or Java Runtime Environment, and this guy over here is good enough to execute whatever is there as a part of .class file. So you understand that the client is in a Mac system, and they will install a JRE for Mac. Okay, the developer is going to install JDK for Windows, right? And they will simply send, the developer will simply send the compiled class file to the client, and the client will be able to execute that, because they have two different versions of Java installed in their system, depending on which operating system they are using. So which means that Java is platform independent, right? Java is platform independent. It doesn't matter in which platform the program was built. Whoever is having JRE, a runtime, okay, they will be able to execute it. As simple as that. Okay, that answers this question. So let's move on to the next part. Let's see the above in action. Create a basic source file, convert into a bytecode, and execute that. I have done that in front of you, so we'll skip the slide. Let's go to Eclipse. So I have told you guys to install Eclipse, which is a coding platform or an IDE. In the IDE, you are going to store all your projects. Okay. So let me close this. Okay. And once you install the Eclipse, you can get an icon like this, Eclipse IDE. Just install a free version of it. And then you just run this up. Okay. When you open this up, it will ask you that which workspace you're trying to open. Okay, when you open this for the first time, it says select a directory as a workspace. That means it is a folder under which you are creating all your projects. Okay, so I can just create a new folder here saying Bootcamp November 2022, Bootcamp November 2022, just like that. And I say launch. Okay. This is going to open up the Eclipse. Because it's a new workspace, it is going to take some time to open up this workspace. Okay, that's good. So when it opens up for the first time, you have this particular screen here, which you can just cross out. That's the welcome screen. You can just cross out. And then this is going to be our first screen where you want to work with. So there are multiple panels. You can see there are multiple panels, left-hand side, top and right and bottom. We don't need all of them. We just close them, like outline, we'll close it. Problems, Java doc, declaration, we will close it. We will need this package explorer section and this left-hand side section where you see the code, okay? So I'm going to create a Java project. You can say file, new Java project, just like that. File, new Java project. Okay. And let's give a name to the project. And look at this wizard, all right? Project creation wizard. So give a name to the project. So I say, this is a bootcamp day 1, right? And then it is saying that which Java execution environment you want this application to, this project to run through. Okay, so I'm okay with Java 11 because that's what I have in my system. All right, and I'll say finish. When I do that, you will see this another pop-up saying create module info for Java. Just say don't create, do not create this. All right, and you get this simple Java project. Okay, in this particular project, what do I have? I have 2 things. Look at this. This project got automatically attached with a JRE system library. Okay, if you expand this section, this is a library. If you look at this, guy here, I was telling you that JRE is built with JVM and libraries. This is that library. What is library ideally? Okay, library, if you open this up, it has all these icons, which looks like a jar. You see that jar? And there are like thousands of jar files, hundreds of jar files. Okay, what is a jar file? If you open the jar file, you will see some boxes with a tie up, like, tied up boxes. These boxes are called as packages. So let me try to write it down for you so that you can understand from Java perspective what is really happening. It is library, which has hundreds of jar files. Jar means Java archive. Then you have packages. Under the packages, you have compiled classes. Okay, compiled. Classes are anyway compiled. So classes, .class files. So what exactly is happening here? Try to visualize it. Okay. If I open this up, there are class files. So try to visualize this. Okay. People like you and me, they are creating multiple class files. Class 1, class 2, class 3. Okay. So they have created the Java file and then converted that to a class file. So class 1, class 2, class 3. They are packing them up under one package. All right. And then they're creating multiple packages similarly. And then they are putting them inside one big library. And then they are giving this library to the developers like us, who are going to have these classes ready-made available. So for example, you want to work with file system. You want to work with files, like actual text file or some kind of a file. If you look into it, you see Java IO, Java input output. If you look into this, you will probably see a file class. Somebody like you and me, who is a developer or a team of developers, they have filled in this particular file.java file with all the features that will let you work with a file, compiled them, added them inside this package called as java.io. And similarly, there are thousands of class files. They're packing them together under java.io, and then they are pushing this java.io as a part of the main library, the GRE library. So basically it means when you start a project, a Java project, you readily available out of the box, lots of libraries as such that you can use to make, to make a program. I mean, if you want to work with a file, you don't have to write that feature from scratch. You have readily available these libraries that you can use and make it happen. Is this clear to everyone? Whatever I just said. Give me a thumbs up, please, if it's clear. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's clear the ground and move on. Okay, so we just created this particular project. Now, under the SRC folder, which is an empty folder, we can create a package, new package. This is nothing but a folder again. Package is nothing but a folder again. So I'm just going to say test me. Okay. And then I'm going to create a new class here, saying new class. And what is the name of the class? The name of the class is, I don't know, maybe welcome. Welcome. Okay. And then I'm going to click on this checkbox called public static void main, and then finish. When I do that, Eclipse automatically going to generate this code snippet for me. Don't get overwhelmed. Whatever you are seeing here is exactly what we have done a few minutes back. What is this? You see the file name is welcome.java. The same name is in the class name, exactly what we did earlier. And then there was a method that we created, and that method is the same method, public static void main. And this is an open ground where you want to write some code. There's also another open ground where you can write some methods. Okay. And all you're trying to say here is that in the first line is that this particular file is under a package called test me. Okay. That's what you're saying. All right. Let's write the command, the same command. You say system. All right. What is the benefit of using Eclipse, like this ID? You can see you said system and you said dot. You see, these are the suggestions that are coming from Eclipse, right? So I can say system.out.print.ln. You see that? It comes back with suggestions. It is going to make your development experience much more faster. And you can just say, welcome to the class. Welcome to the class. Now, if I go ahead and run this program, how can I run this program? Run as, you see, right click on this file, run as Java application. And if I do that, you will see it got printed. But the question is, as I showed you earlier, how come a Java file can spit out this result even though it was not compiled? How is that possible? It is not compiled, right? I didn't compile it. But how did that happen? How did that print it out, the console information? Can anyone take a guess, please? Anyone? Any guesses? It's okay if it's a wrong guess, that's fine. Lydia, what do you think? Or Ellen, what do you think? Yeah.
Is it because it's in a class?
So,
Class folder or something?
but earlier as well, it was a class file, right? That was under a folder. There is no difference in that one and this one in terms of the files. This is a Java file, .java file. There is no .class file here. How did the printout happen? How did the system was able to run it?
Okay, maybe this file used some references in the library and
No.
no, okay.
No. So let me just show you. If I take you to the project inside Bootcamp day 1, if I open this project from the Windows Explorer, so show in System Explorer. If you show it, if I show you this, you have this folder called Bootcamp Day 1. If you open this file, you see that this particular folder has different kind of files and folders. .settings file, .class path, and .project. These folders and files are used by Eclipse itself. Okay, but there are two different folders here. One is a SRC and one is a bin folder. If I open the SRC folder, there's a test me folder, which is a package. I told you packages are nothing but a folder. If you open this folder, you have welcome, which is a Java file. If you open this up, that's exactly what we saw in the Eclipse. No problem at all. Same thing. But if you just go back to the same location over here, you have another folder called bin folder, right? Bin is a mirror image of SRC. If I open this up, there is a test me package. If I open this up, there is a welcome, but this is not a Java file anymore. It's a class file. How did that happen? It happened because Eclipse is smart enough that as soon as I save the file, it auto compiles for me. It is automatically compiling and keeping a mirror class file. And then if you open this file, you see the gibberish stuff that I said earlier, right? And then when Eclipse is trying to run it, it is basically trying to run this particular file. And that's why it is spitting out the console log. Make sense?
So it basically compiles it just by itself as soon as you
Save
put
the
in
file.
okay.
You save the file and it compiles it. Eclipse automatically is doing this because Eclipse is having its own compiler, which is referring from the Java. Because to work with Eclipse, you need to have Java installed in your system. So I think Eclipse is somehow referring to the same compiler that Java is using, or maybe it has its own compiler that understands how to compile a Java file, and it is doing that. Okay, and then it is, running it for us. Make sense? Good. So then that's what is happening here. Okay, so we did this, we did this, we did this. Okay, so let's try to understand what is a main method. Okay, a main method is a starting point for a Java program. What do I mean by that? Okay, so I can have multiple different classes. Test me 2. Okay, and you can see that in these files I didn't create any main method, and that is totally fine. I can avoid creating main methods in all the files. I have just one file over here, and this is the file from where the program actually getting started. The program is actually getting started. That means this is the location from where your program is kicking off. So if I want, I can create method here. So public void test me method here, and I just say static. Don't worry, I will mention about static later on. And then I'm going to create the same method right here. So I just print out system.println Okay, and I will just print out test me, test me method. And then the same thing, I'm going to put it here. And then I'll say test me two method, okay? And look, this is my kickoff point for the program. But from this program, from this main method here, I can call test me dot test me and test me 2 dot test me. Look what is happening. I am referring the methods that I have created in test me Java and test me 2 Java, and I'm referring them over here. I'm saying I'm trying to call these two methods which are in these two classes. Okay, but who is calling them? So basically, to execute this method, somebody has to call it, right? A method can be called by somebody. A method cannot execute on its own. Okay, a method can be called, has to be called by somebody. So who is calling this method? This main method, which is a kickoff point, for this project, is calling test me methods, which are residing in another file. Okay. Question is, in that case, who the hell is calling the main method? Because that's also a method. Somebody has to call a method. So to answer that question, it is our good old friend JVM. JVM is coded in such a way or implemented in such a way where they have hard coded to say that kickoff or start executing from exactly this formatted entity or a method, which is public static void main. Come on, static void main with an argument of string array args parameter. Okay, so JVM is hard coded to look out for this particular method and start the program execution from here. Let me prove this. So this main method is supposed to call these two methods, and then I can create another method which I'll give the same name. Look, I'll just say public. I'll keep everything same. Public, on almost everything same. Public static, right? Static void main, but I'm not going to give the arguments. And then I'm going to just write a line here. Sys out. Okay, by the way, with Eclipse, you can use shortcuts. So you see SYSO, control and space, and then SYSO, control space, and 1 minute. Why it is not showing me? SYSO, control space. Here you go. Okay. And then you have this out, you hit enter, the entire line got formatted. Okay. So here I'm going to say this is dummy main. Okay, like this. All right. And then if I run my program, so as I said, what will happen? JVM will trigger the program. JVM will look for the method, which is a main method with that format. Okay. And then it will kick off. So look, if I clear my page And if I run the program, how do I run the program?
Right
can run the
click on Java.
Run as Java application, okay? When I do that, and you see, test me and test me too got printed. They were console logged right here. This one and this one, right? Because Java test me too and test me, they don't have their main method. You actually can't even run them. Look, if you right click on this, there is under run as, there is no Java application option at all. Why? Because they don't have main method into it. So it cannot execute them, right? It can't execute them. It can be executed only if what? It has a main method, which this guy is having. So run as Java application, and you click on this, it eventually calls test me and test me two methods and printed them out. And you probably have noticed that it is not even calling the dummy main method. No, because it is hard-coded in JVM's implementation. Start the program from this. Do not start the program from something else. If you copy this main method and paste it in the test me folder, test me class, and you try to go back and try to say run as, you still don't have that Java application. Why? Because it's not the same main method. Making sense? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to understand, I'm already in the class for like 1.5 hours now. I would like to understand for people who are just getting started with programming, whatever I showed you, okay? Is it looking like undoable? Is it like, this is rocket science and it is a tangent for us? And why am I saying this? Because you see, I have trained thousands of people so far, and they were scared to put their feet in to the programming world, thinking that it is not doable, it is not their cup of tea, and they were compromising on their salary, on their growth. So I'm just trying to understand what do you guys think? Is it something which is absolutely like rocket science? I don't think so. It is if you are learning it the right way, if your doubts are being cleared, if you are if you are showing the right approach, if you're giving a proper explanation to these fundamentals, then it is not a rocket science. Don't you think so, guys? Yes or no?
It definitely isn't as hard to understand. As someone who doesn't really know any part in coding, period, it really, I feel like just with repetition and practice, and if you just if one dedicates themselves to wanting to learn this, it really wouldn't be all that hard to do.
Exactly. Yeah, you actually just nailed it. It's with the practice. I can tell you this, Wasim, that whatever I showed you, and then you say, hey, I've been to the class, and then I'm not going to look into it, and in a week's time it will slip out because you're learning. And that is kind of true for any new thing that you're learning. This whole learning phase for this 4 months or one month, if you're staying with me, if you are putting that effort to stay and to learn with me, to ask me questions, I am giving you the access to the Slack channel, right? If you're coming back to me with questions, me and my team, I have another team member who will look into this particular Slack channel along with me. Questions comes in and we answer them, and we are clearing your doubts, and we are helping you to progress from step 0 to 1. Whatever you are learning, it will be registered into your system, and in 4 months' time, when you are graduating out of this program, you will be just not clearing the interview, but you will also be productive into your workplace. And I will show you them. I'll show it to you how this has changed some of my candidate's student's life. I'll show it to you. Ellen, you want to say something? Please go on.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say I think it's doable with practice, like the other gentleman said. Is if you keep on practicing and just going in there and revise and everything, I think you simply get used to that and then you progress from there. Because everything comes with practice anyway. You can't just sit down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to this whatever I'm showing you, the syntax and everything, it will automatically get registered into your mind. You know, so it's just a language. It's just a language. It's like any other language. You try to learn French, you like to learn German, you will need to practice, right? So anyways, so let's move on to the next part. That's that. All right. So let's now try to dig a little bit deeper. Variables and constants, like what is variables? Why do I care? When the programming language was built, or any programming language that is getting built, okay, earlier days, we used to have C, then C++, and then we had Java, okay, earlier back, I'm saying 20 years back, those were the languages which were like predominantly used in every other application. But now, every now and then, there is a new language that is coming up. There is Python. Python is also quite old, but you will see about C#. You will see about Golang. You will see about new different kind of languages like React. React is not a language; it's a framework. Maybe JavaScript. Okay, these are still modern languages. Okay, they are getting built and they are getting modified. So any language that comes into the market, they kind of provide certain common features out of the box. One of it is variables and constants. Why variables? Variables are there so that you can store some value inside that, and then you can change that value under that variable. So what do I exactly mean? So JVM, which is the Java Virtual Memory, you can think of this guy as a memory space. So in our computer system, we have hard disk, which is going to store our data like permanently. Even if you switch off your system and you switch on back, you still see the data. Why do you see that? It's stored in the hard disk. It's everybody knows that, right? And then we have RAM, a temporary memory, the memory that we use to what? To run a program, to run an application, to run a software. A software gets started in the RAM or pulled into the RAM while it gets executed, and then this RAM is going to run the program for you. Okay, and then you perform some operation, and then you save it, and the saved information gets stored in the database. Sorry, hard disk, right? Now, when I say variable, variable is basically a memory space that's created in the RAM. Created in the RAM. Temporary space that is created in the RAM, and that space, when you're creating, you need to kind of inform while creating what type of data you're trying to store temporarily. So you're going to say int from Java perspective. If you work with JavaScript, then they have different ways to do the same thing. Language specific, there are different syntax. So for here, I'm saying int. Int means what? Integer. You're trying to store integer, and then you're saying that I want to give that memory space a name. So I'm saying number. Number is a name that you are giving to that memory space, and then you're trying to give an initial value to it, like 50. So when you do that, what exactly happens? What exactly happens is that in the RAM, you're creating a small memory box, and you're saying that I'm going to store an integer inside this, int, and then I'm going to give the name to this as number, and then I'm giving a value to it as 50. Okay? This is exactly what is happening under that RAM. Now you can decide to say number equals to 60. Why? Because number is a variable. It's a variable, which means it can vary its value. So it was 50 earlier, now it is 60. However, when you add a keyword called final, okay, and you say that I'm creating a variable of type double. Double means it has a decimal place, and then you have the name of the variable is called pi, and then equals to 3.14, then you're basically saying that you're creating a constant, a value that is not supposed to change, a value that is not supposed to change. There's a variable and there is a constant. In every programming language, you have this facility. These are the basic feature that you need to provide to your developers who will use this language to perform an operation. Simple as that, right? So let me clear this drawing. Moving on to the next one. There are different types of data types that are available. Different types of data types that are available. One is called primitive, and one is called non-primitive. In terms of Java, there are these two different data types that are available, primitive and non-primitive data types. Okay? As I said, data types are required to store different types of data, as simple as that. So there are 4 data types available to store only numbers: byte, short, int, long. Now there's a reason why we have these 4 data types available. So if you go back in the history of Java or the programming language, Java is there in the market for, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 years now, right? So when this programming language was built back then, 30 years back, you probably know the fact that memory, like the space, the memory of the computer or the machine, it used to be very, very, very expensive to use, which means that if you're trying to store, if you're trying to create a program that requires you to deal with human age, there is no point to store them under integer data type. Why is that? Because integer data type requires more space. Okay? It requires more space. Rather, you can do that with byte, because byte requires much less space. You can store a number between -128 to 127. You understand? And that is good enough to store a human age. Why do you want to waste the space if you want to store integer? Because integer has a much bigger range to store. And you don't want that, because if you want to store more data, you're going to lose more space. That is not a concern for modern systems, which is why everybody uses integer, int. Integer and long. Long is basically to store really, really, really large number, maybe maybe the distance between 2 different stars, that can be stored under long. Okay, and then you have other libraries also that you can add in, and using them you can store even more bigger number, like it's called big decimal and big integer, like that. Okay, you can store even more number, and that requires more space. Earlier it was a race between using less space, which is why there were multiple different type of integer data type. Not anymore. It doesn't really matter. Even if you use integer for every damn thing, and your program will still work, your system will still work, no problem at all, right? Then it came up with float and double. Again, the same thing. Float requires less space. Double requires more space. So float, I think they have, if you want to declare a float, you will just say like this, it's a float, say, I don't know, maybe temperature equals to 36 or maybe 20 degrees centigrade, right? So 20.7, whatever, or 78, whatever. So this is a small decimal fraction, which can be easily tackled by float data type. But if you want to really work with a decimal, which is much more larger, then you go with double. You have a character data type where you can store one character, like within single quotes, just one character. For one variable, one character, you can store that. And then you have Boolean, which is storing the value as true or false. It is not a number, it is not a letter, it is not a character. It is a status. It's a Boolean value, which is basically true or false. And then you have non-primitive data type. So these data types came in place in a much later stage in the history of Java, where they figured out that they have to provide more flexibility to the users by giving them access to store multiple characters together as a word, right? So string as the data type looks like this. So you will say string name equals to Sovic, right? In double quotes, Sovic. And that's a string variable that you just created, and you assigned a value to it called Sovic. And you can see that how you are using each character and you are just merging them together and putting inside a variable. So probably they have done some kind of a logic. They have implemented some logic, some algorithm that can basically use the same character variable type, data type, and now you can store multiple values instead of one value or one letter, right? And they have named it as a string data type. Similarly, you have an integer data type. Okay. Then you have Boolean data type. I will talk more about them. These are just consider that these data types are there to come to you and provide you with more power. For example, if I have this integer variable, I cannot convert this integer variable to a string variable. I cannot convert this integer data to a string data. But with this integer with capital I, I-N-T-E-G-R, I can convert integer data to a string data, right? So it is kind of giving us more power, and we will talk about that at the right time. But there are two different types of data types ideally we'll be looking at, primitive and non-primitive. And in primitive, we have integer, decimal, character, Boolean, and then you have non-primitive string, integer, Boolean, and a few more. Okay? That's that. Let's move on to the next section. Operators. Okay? Very simple operators. Operators are there basically to perform different kind of operations. You have arithmetical operation to perform arithmetic operators, plus, minus, divide, multiplication. Relational operator, you're basically trying to see if there's a relation between one entity and the other entity. You have logical operator, pre and postfix operator, assignment operator, and ternary operator. Okay? We will quickly walk you through them. Rather, let's write some program and understand this. So then what I'll do is I will create some program right here. And a test me. So test me method is getting called by the main method from the other class. So this will execute anyways. So let's just try to do that. Okay. I'm going to say int a equals 25. Int b, you have to end the line with a semicolon. Okay, you cannot just leave it like that. It'll give you an error. So semicolon, and then you say int b equals 35, right? And you can perform different kind of operations with this. So look, you can say a result, int result, and you can say 35 minus 25. Okay. And then here sys out, and then you can say result. And if you run them, what will happen? It will just subtract 35 minus 25 and then give you the answers. If you run this program, you will see it gives you 10 here. But if I say result again equals 35 divided by 25, then you will see something. You will see the value as 1. Value as 1. Why is that? Why 35 minus 25 is 1? If I want to get a logical understanding of this, you have
Because
35 here. Yeah,
it
tell
is
me.
integer value, right?
Yeah, it's an integer value. That's exactly right. You have 35 and 25, and you're just saying, I want to divide them. And it's an integer type of value. Sorry. Okay. 25 ones 25. And you have 10 here, right? But it doesn't know that you can perform a decimal and then get a 0 and then no, what am I doing? Sorry. 1 minute. Let me clear this out. Okay, so you are basically getting this result out here, 1. Okay, this is this result is of type integer. Okay, if I make this result of type double, right? And if I run them now, I get the value as 1.0. I'm 1.0. I'm not actually getting the right value. If I change them to double and double, and if I run them now, it is still showing 1.0. What we will do is, let me give a 0.0 here. Let's see if that works out for me. Why it is not giving me this guy? It should give me that guy, right? I should be getting 1.4 here. Why am I not getting 1.4 here? 1 minute. If I just do this modulus operator. Yeah, so the modulus operator is going to give me the remainder of 10 here, right? But I'm wondering that why it is not giving me the value that I'm expecting. 55. Just a minute. Okay. I know why. I should have done a minus b, right? Or b minus a here. I'm not even using these variables at all, right? I'm still dividing the hard-coded value of 35, right? So I should have used the variable, right? So b divided by a. Okay, let's run this. 1.4. Okay, I did a mistake of not using the variables. I didn't use the variables. I was hard coding the value here. That was not right. So b minus a I did earlier, and then b by a is 1.4. If I say b modulus a, I'll get it as 10.0 because the difference between 25 minus 35 minus 25 is 10, right? And then you can do dot, and then you can go for a you can do a 0, and then you can say 4, and then you can say 100, right? So you will basically say dot here or a point here. There's a point here that will give you a 10, right? Sorry, you'll get you a 0 here, and then you will say dot 4, then that gives you 100, right? And that clears out your division, correct? With a reminder 0, right? This is a division, simple, and you get the 1.4. That is exactly what I was getting there, correct? So this is basically a simple variable that I was talking about. Now, I was talking about different operators. You have plus, you have minus, you have multiplication, you have division, you have modulus. And then I was talking about relational operators. What is relational operators? So look at this. I have a variable, the variable value is a, and my variable is a and b. So if I say a greater than b, this greater than is a relational operator. You're just trying to say if a is greater than b or not. If I run them, obviously I will get the result as false. A relational operator like this always gives you back a result in a Boolean format, right? Boolean format. Always. If I say b greater than a, is it? It is. I get true. Okay. If I say b double equals a, that means the left-hand side is equals to right-hand side, is it? It's not. I'm going to get false. If I say b not equals to a, yeah, it is. So I get true. Like, why do I care? I care because probably I want to make some operation depending on their relationship. For example, I can add a statement here, and we call the statement as an if statement. So if I say if b is not equals to a, then I can say sys out, I will go to US. Okay. Depending on my condition, I can then perform something. So you see, there's a condition. I'm if checking that whether this condition is true, then whatever is within the scope is getting executed. You can see so far, I've shown you so many times that in Java, things are all working within scopes. So you see, there's a scope for class. There's a scope for method. See that? There's a scope for if statement, right? And then if I run them, obviously, it says I'll go to US. Whatever you want to perform, you can just perform it within this block. And you're saying if this matches, then you do this. Simple. Good stuff? Okay. That's the if statement. All right. Now, what I was saying is that there are different operators. So arithmetic operator, I just showed you that. Then the next one is your relational operators. So you see, equals to, double equals to, not equals to, greater than equals to, like that. Okay. Then you have logical operator. It's very, very important. Logical operator. What is logical operator? Look at this guy. You're trying to perform an operation by matching up two different conditions. How great is that? So look, you have a condition where you're saying if A is equals to B, and you're checking if A is equals to 10. If this two condition matches, only then you want to perform something. So let's look at the practical example of it, right? So look, I think after this, I will end in the class today. I will showcase something in terms of my previous graduate students. I'll talk more about my program a little bit, and then I will let you guys go. So I'll complete the operators, and then I will let you guys go. I will also, expect you to quickly get onboarded into the system, and I can show you the Slack channel, and I can show you a few more things. So could you please do that in the meantime? So let me just quickly complete that logical operator, and I will then move on from there. So look, I have a program. Okay. I want to, so what is that I want to do? I want to find the greatest number of three within three number of three. Yeah. Okay. Of three. So what I can do, I can say int A equals 35. Int B equals 25. Int C equals 45, right? So look, I have three numbers. I want to know which one of this is greatest. How can I know that? I can write a simple program saying if A is greater than, so I'm going to add two brackets here, two more brackets here. And I'll say if A is greater than B and A is greater than C, then I can just simply print out that A is greatest. So look at the syntax, guys. Okay, sys out. And here I want to say A is greatest. That means the value of 35 is greatest. So you can see that there is some string manipulation I'm doing. I'm saying A as a variable, and I'll do a plus, and I will add a string here. So what does it mean? So the variable value that is 35 is greatest will be printed out. Do you understand? It's a string manipulation. I'm adding a number to a string. This operator of plus is called as concatenation operator in that case. If you just add a number to a number, the plus operator will work as a normal additional operator. But if you're adding a number to a string, it will be acting as a concatenation operator, which means you're basically merging two strings, right? And then you can write another section saying else if. So you're just taking another condition saying if else if. And you're saying if B is greater than A and B is greater than C, then obviously B is greatest, or otherwise there's only one condition left out, which is C is greatest, right? Simple as that. Now I want to run this program in two different ways. And guys, I want to make it very, very, very clear that if you want to if you want to be successful in programming, you have to, there is no shortcut to it. You have to know what is debugging. You have to learn debugging. What is it? What is debugging means? I will show you in a minute. But let me run this program first, okay? I'll run this from here, right? Yeah. So 45 is greatest. Obviously, that makes sense. Now, I want to show you something that is debugging. 45 is greatest. How did that actually happen from the code standpoint? Like, did it automatically figure out that, as soon as this file was read, did the program automatically figure out that 45 is greatest? Or did actually happen something line by line? Let's try to understand this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these guys in a different lines, okay? To see how the entire operation really performs, okay? So I'll put a breakpoint right here. Okay, this is called breakpoints, okay? What is a breakpoint? Breakpoint means that it's a point where you are pausing your execution during debugging process. You're pausing the execution of that program so that at runtime you can really understand that what is actually happening. Okay, so let me just show you. Okay, so I'm pausing. I want to pause my execution right in line number 12, line number 14, line number 16. How do you put the breakpoint? Double click on this line numbers. All right, double click on line numbers, and then you will be having that. Okay, blue dots. All right, and then I want to have one in line number 21. Why did I choose those numbers? I want to choose those numbers because I really want to, sorry, one more here, line number 18. I want to really choose those numbers because I want to understand how the program is flowing. So when the file gets read by Java while execution, it basically flows from left top to bottom, just like that. Okay, it reads every line by line by line and executes them. Okay, so let's just see whatever I'm saying. Can I prove this? So let's try to prove this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just save this file, and I want to run this program in a debugging mode. So you said not run as anymore. I'll say debug as. All right, and Java application just like that. And if you say debug as Java application, it will say you for the first time confirm perspective switch. What does it mean? It means that you want to change the layout of this Eclipse while debugging. I don't want to do that. I say, remember my decision? No. Okay. And you see that my program is not completely executed. You see this green button and the red button is glowing, which means that the program is in the execution mode. It is not yet executed. The red button is glowing. If the red button is grayed out, it means the program has been already executed. If it's glowing, it means that it is running. Right now it is running. It's not yet completed. So right now it is glowing, which means that it is running, but it is in the pause state. In line number 12, it is paused, and then that's why it is green in nature. So right now it is kind of trying to, it is not yet, so line number 12 is not yet executed. It's just kind of paused in line number 12. So if you hover your mouse on A, it see the variable value called 35. If you hover your mouse on B, you see the variable value as 25. So which means that this condition that I'm checking right now, it's a true condition. Means what? If I try to go to the next line of the execution, so you will do step over. You see this small U-like arrow? It's called step over, which means you are completing this execution and then going to the next line. So I do a step over, and you see it is trying to check the next line as A is greater than C or not. Why is that? Because I have used an AND operator. An AND operator can be considered as a true evaluation if condition 1 and condition 2 both are true. If any one of them is false, then the actual execution of this line will never occur. Like in this case, A is greater than B, but A is not greater than C. And if I do a step over now, look how that works. It goes to line number 16 instead of line number 15. Do you see that? This is the power of debugging. And I'm telling you guys, your life will be miserable if you don't understand and if you don't learn or if you are scared of debugging. What probably you will be scared of debugging at the initial stage, but then you have to master it. There is no shortcut to it. You cannot think that I will run the program. I will write the program. I will write a 1 page of program, maybe 100 lines of code, and I run it and my program works. That never happens, not to me, not to any developer. You have to know how to debug. And I'm there to teach you this debugging techniques as a part of this whole program. I'm having this section as well. So anyway, look at the next line. Okay, look at the next line. It is even more interesting. Look, it says B greater than A or not. Is it? It is not. Because it is not, at the first interaction itself, because B is not greater than A, you see line number 18 will not be even evaluated. Look, if I just go and step over, do you see that? It didn't even evaluate line number 18. If it would have, then you will see this green line is stopping line number 18. It didn't. It straight away came to this guy, right? And then you have the value, right? You see how the flow happens. It's very, very important for you to understand the flow. Look, I will now change my operators. I will say, instead of and, obviously whatever I'm changing is not actually going to make any sense in terms of the actual operation or actual result of this execution. But I'll just say if A is greater than B, or means it's 2 pipe symbol. Okay, this is a pipe symbol. Or A is greater than C. Here again, or. Right? Now let's look how things will work out. Here, the result was 45 is greatest, right? If I do a debug now, again, line number 12, I set. The first condition itself is true. Okay, earlier, the first condition was true, but even though it was true, it jumped to the second condition to check whether this condition is also true or not, right? But in this case, that will not be the case. Look, if I do a step over, it straight away comes to line number 15. Because the first condition was true, it doesn't really matter even the second condition was false. Whatever I'm trying to show you here is called truth table in programming language, or in programming for that example, for that matter. It's called truth table. So let's just say, what is the truth table? So just say Java or any programming language, truth table. It's all the same. Truth table, okay? Let's go to the images. And let's try to look for, I don't know, maybe this one. Yeah, this one is good. So look, you have A and B, right? So you have 0, no, this is bad. Let me show you in true and false method. That'll be easier. Maybe this first one is good. Okay, okay. So you have P and Q, that is condition 1, condition 2. When both of them are true, you see, P and Q are true, only then it matches to true. If P you see, if you say P is true, Q is false, then it is coming as false here. If P is false, Q is true, it is coming as false. Let's go, both of them are false, it is anyway false, right? In terms of OR, you see, if both of them are true, anyway it is true. But if the first condition is true, even then the result is true. If the first condition is true, false, and the second condition is true, the overall result is true. And if both of them are false, then it is false. Okay? Do you see the difference, how it works? Right? You can even understand it better when you exactly write this simple program and go through debugging, guys. I request you, if you're not learning this, you come back to me 100 times. I will help you out to make this debugging easier for you to understand. Sit with me practically and learn this. There is no shortcut in this world without, putting the hard work. I have seen people who think that, they will write a program and it will just work out on its own. They don't even bother to even try to debug, thinking that it is difficult. Things are going to be difficult, but I'm there to help, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that practice debugging, practice a simple program. What I'll do is, whatever the slide deck that I use today, I'm going to upload this slide deck and the recorded session into the Slack channel. And you can only access the Slack channel if you are registering. So I can see Lydia has already registered. Thank you, Lydia. Rest of them, please register and get into the Slack channel so that, I can start pushing them and you can use them. All right.
Hey, Sovik, I actually I tried to register on the site, but for some reason it's saying that this is what it says. It says success. Your member sign-up request has been sent and is awaiting approval. The site administrator will notify you via email, but I haven't gotten anything via email.
Can you see your spam, please?
Let's see.
What I
got it. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I see it.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
All right.
So you can just do that and you can log in and then you can just come to the dashboard and click on this join our Slack channel and eventually you can come to the channel. Okay.
Got you. Thank you.
No problem at all. So guys, rest of you guys, please get attached to this channel and I will submit the slide deck and this one here. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you some questions. So I'm talking from quite some time now. I would like to understand, how do you feel about the first day class? There are a few more things to complete, but I will tackle that next week. But whatever I showed you so far, what do you think? Is it looking promising? Do you think that it is doable, or the way I am delivering the content, is it making sense? What do you think? Christy, what do you think? Can't hear you, Christy, if you're talking.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, go on.
Okay, yeah, no, I was saying the class is actually really good. It's understandable. The way you're explaining things and breaking it down is definitely very easy to digest. I think for me, I'll just need to go over the video again, just like you have mentioned, just to sort of get the concepts in. But like a lot of them are sort of sticking in already. So that's my standpoint. It's really good. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's go to Ellen. Ellen, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good course to pursue from a point of view where you don't know anything about programming. But I just feel if you keep on, like what Christy say, that if you go and watch the video again and again and keep practicing, I think it's a good thing to pursue. It's a good course.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Lydia, what do you think?
Yeah, it feels good. Just would be cool to install this thing and
Yeah.
repeat
Yeah.
and do some homeworks, and then later on understand how to apply it to your actual work or project.
Exactly. So I have sent, if you have seen the other emails when you registered to the program at the very beginning, I've sent you a couple of emails where you had the video that shows how to install Eclipse and Java. I'm already there in the channel. Any questions, any doubts whatsoever, ping me right there and I will reply you back. Okay. Is it Gauri? Gigi, is it Gauri, right?
Yes, that's me.
Okay,
I did
Gauri,
not
what?
change the, yeah.
That's fine. Gauri, what do you think?
Yeah, I really like this class, especially starting with if else and the and or logic. I think that's core of programming. So
Perfect.
glad yeah, to learn
Okay.
in depth. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So guys, can you start registering, all of you, and get into the channel as soon as possible. Let me also show you a few things that will really help you out. So if you click on the Start Course button after you log in, you eventually will come to this particular section called Course Content, okay, where you have the videos, all right? So if you click on the course content, you will see week number 1. You will not see week number 2, 3, 4. I will enable it for you guys later on, but you will see week number 1. And if you expand this, there are this, what is Java, setting up Eclipse, and all the other stuff about arrays and all those things. And if you click on any one of them, there is a video for it. It's a long video. You can watch them, but I will anyway cover them in the upcoming weekends. I will anyway do that next weekend as well. So you don't need to really watch this video because I'm covering them in the class itself. But what you can do is you can go to the Google Drive attached to it. And if you open this drive, there is the presentation anyway, and there are assignments, which is really, really, really crucial. In this training of 4 months, you will be going through 250 assignments to complete. Okay, so you see these are assignments. Write a Java program implementing a mathematical and concatenation operator. Okay, there are some hints given how to do it, and then there is verify, add, or even number, verify how to convert a string to a lowercase, how to print an area of a circle, perimeter of a circle, how to compare 2 numbers, how to write an area of a polygon, okay, swap 2 variables without using 3rd variable, getting started with very basic programs. And then if you keep on going up the ladder, you will have harder programs coming up every week by week, okay? Like here, in the next week, we'll talk about classes, and then they have more assignments. Every class, it has more assignments. Every video, it has more assignments. Create a rectangle class and define length and breadth properties. You have to know how to work with classes and objects to complete these assignments, right? So please access these assignments, access the video, access the slide deck from the channel, and then contact me in the channel with your doubts. And without fail, as soon as possible, register so that I can get back to you. Okay, so that is that. But before I let you guys go, I want to show you something. If you go to the website wisdomkeyway.com, I told you that you will be learning about the full stack test automation, which is having this 12 modules to work with. We are just started with the Java, and this Java will be like carried from day 1 till the end. Everything is based on this programming language. So we have to really, really strengthen our fundamentals with core Java. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to show you here is that in last 2 years, I have trained around 90 people just from this company. And as I was saying, 82 guys got a job. People who came to me with zero programming knowledge, people who lost their job working as a manual tester during pandemic, I was able to fetch them jobs in 2 months' time, just because they followed me, followed my strategy, they followed my assignments. They were able to get the job. Okay, they were proactive. I want to play some of these videos so that you can really understand that what exactly we are doing here. Okay, and how it is really making difference for candidates like them. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly share my sound and let me play some of them. For example, Joanna, she is not a junior software engineer or tester. She is in the market for 7 years. Even with that, she lost her job during pandemic. So let me play this to you.
Hi, I'm Joanna. I was part of the November 2020 group. I was unfortunately made redundant back in May 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. And when it came to seeking another role, a lot of the QA roles available required some automation experience. I have been working in manual testing for most of my career, and I have been trying to skill up in automation for the longest time. I found difficulty with this due to the limited structure of a lot of the online courses that are there already. They tend to be mostly video format, and they tend to be very basic, and they also go out of date very quickly. So when I came across Wisdom QA on LinkedIn and read the course details, it seemed to be exactly what I needed to bridge the skill gap between manual and automation. And the course involves a combination of the video lectures and practical assignments and live classes, and it covers everything from basic programming skills to working with a proper CI/CD environment. When I was only halfway through the course, I had an interview for a role that was mostly manual but required automation knowledge. So in the interview, I was able to apply what I had already learned just from the first half of the course. And a couple of days later, I was hired. I got the role. So even at a minimum, being able to talk shop with automation engineers and understanding how automation works and the foundational principles was already beneficial. And without Civic's course, I'm sure that interview would have gone very differently, and I'd probably still be job hunting. If you are a manual tester and you find the world of automation very daunting, don't worry. Suvik is a great teacher, and he will support you and answer your questions and help you if you get stuck in any of your assignments. You will get the most benefit from the course by putting the time in, doing the assignments and learning how to solve problems by practicing in your own time. Basically, with enough time and practice, you will be able to break into automation, and this course is just what you need to achieve that.
So you can see everybody is saying the same thing: proactive and practice. So you see, if you look into her profile, so everybody who has given the video reviews, I attached their LinkedIn profile. If you go to the LinkedIn profile, you will see, okay, let me log in do this quickly. Okay, if you look into her profile, you will see that she is not a junior resource. If you just scroll down, you will see she was working with Viasat for 5.5 years. Before that, almost 2 years of experience over here. Even with this, she lost her job, okay, during pandemic. She comes to me, I trained her. You can see May 2020, she lost her job. She comes to me by end of December, I suppose. And I trained her, and within 2 months, I got her into Aer Lingus. And she's there working for 1 year, 9 months. She is working full-time, and she is keeping her job, okay? So just not that you're clearing the interview, you are staying in that job, you are being productive in that job. That's what I'm trying to show you. Let's move on to the next lady, Amy. She is a computer graduate, engineering graduate or diploma graduate. She came here in Ireland for 8-9 months. She was trying to find a job in Dublin or in Ireland. Even after 8 months, she couldn't find a single offer. She didn't get a single offer. She was getting very less calls. It didn't work out for her at all. And then she comes to me, I trained her. And after the 4 months of training, she took 1 month of like study break. And she prepared, and then started giving interview. And I think within 2 or 3 interviews, she cracked it. And she's again keeping her job. She is being productive in it. So let me play this to you.
Hi guys, how are you? My name is Amy Hurtado. I'm from Bolivia. And this occasion, I would like to share about my experience making the automation testing online course. I finished a higher diploma in IT last year. Since then, I have been applying for a job in different levels as a junior, as a entry level, even as apprentice, but I didn't have any luck at all. During this whole process, I noticed that the companies were offering many jobs in QA, especially in automation. Then I decided to improve my skills and uh, and and choose a good online course. I have many choices, but believe me, this is the best one and the most complete. In this course, you will learn how to build consistent suite framework from scratch. If you don't have a developer background, you don't have to worry because this course will provide you the most essential concept of a programming oriented object. And also, Sobik, the trainer, he will show you, he will share you his day-by-day work. So you will learn how to build real frameworks. Apart of all, when you finish the course, if you are looking for a job, as it was my case, Sobik will guide you to make your CV, and also he will provide you information, videos, just to in order to get ready for the interview. It's hard, it's not easy because the competition is hard outside, but it's possible. Imagine in my case, I was trying to find a job for about maybe 7 or 8 months, but I didn't have lucky. After this, I made the course, and after 3 or 4 weeks, I started applying for a QA automation position, and I got many interviews. Every interview was as like a training for me because I need to improve how to answer what the companies are expecting and much more. But this process helped me a lot. I work hard, it's not easy, I have to recognize, but at the end, it's possible. Finally, I got a job. Actually, I'm working in a enterprise company. I'm so happy. And if you are looking for a job, I think it's a good option for you. You just have to go for it, and it's worth it. It's really worth it. Finally, want to only suggest you that you dedicate your time in this course. I encourage you to make the assessment, the test, and everything that you will ask it to make in this course. Just do it, and everything will give you the confidence enough. And it's a really start in automation programming. So go for it, and I think you will be very, very, very glad. At the end, you will be satisfied with this course. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for your attention and have a good luck.
So that was Amy, and if you look into her profile, she is now working with GameStop, I suppose. GameStop, right? Yeah, GameStop. You see, GameStop, 1 year, 4 months, right? So similarly, all these people, I'm not going to play all of them. All these people, this guy from China, he comes to UK. He never ever touched programming. He was doing some testing of mobile hardware back in China, and then he comes to UK. He worked with me. I got him a job. This guy Benjamin, he's from UK, manual tester. I got him a job. So just go through these reviews so that really understand. You know, there are a few more reviews down there. If you click on this button, there are more reviews up here, right? So just watch them and try to understand what were their experience. Ellen, do you want to ask something?
Yeah, I tried to log into that website to click where you say Slack, but I can't. I'm sort of like on that page, but I can't see where I'm supposed to click.
Sure. So you go to the dashboard, and if you click on this button here, join our Slack channel.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That should open up the other side. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
No problem.
Those are very good testimonials.
Yeah,
Thank you so
hello.
much.
I cannot do login. I said that free setup login. I clicked that one.
What do you mean free setup button? I mean, you click on the join for free.
Yeah.
And you should have the form. Did you fill up the form?
Yes, I filled up the form. Even I captcha I enter multiple times, but I cannot get that button that submit or sign up.
What is happening?
Can I share?
Okay, no, not required. Tell me your email address.
Archana Pagral. PAGDAL.
Okay, and what's your email address?
Archana ARCHANA dot Bolivar dot BOLE WAR. Yeah.
At
596@gmail.com.
596, huh?
Yeah.
596 at gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Yeah.
I'm giving you a temporary password 12345.
Yeah.
And then, or maybe a little bit more than that. Let me say. I'm going to send you the password into your chat.
Yeah, sure.
And you can then do it. I'm giving some number here. Can you give me the number?
Yeah, +91.
Okay.
8767.
Okay.
5969.
5969. Okay.
54. Yeah.
Or 54. And this is US.
UK.
Okay, sorry, my bad. UK.
Yeah.
And this is your
manual tester, or you can say fresher also.
Okay, you see, sign up. I just got that. Okay, I don't know why it's not coming for you.
Yeah,
I just click on sign up. You should get the email. Okay.
Okay.
And let me give you the password. You can change the password afterwards.
Yes.
Not a problem at all. Let me send the chat to Archana and okay, I've sent the password to you. Do you see the password?
Yes, I can.
In the private chat. Can you just try to log in? Okay.
Okay, I will try.
Perfect. Okay, Christy, did you log in?
Yes, I logged in. I was able to join the channel. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Very good. I see two people here. Say Lydia.
Oh, that's me.
Okay, good. What about Gauri? Gauri, what about you? I'm going to add Ren, by the way. Ren was already there earlier. So Ren, yeah.
Hey, so can you send me the link to that Slack to join the Slack channel?
The Slack channel, once you log in, you will be able to see the Slack channel.
Okay.
Once you-
So I had created the account for this long time back.
Okay,
but
then
I'm not able to log in. Let me-
when you log in, you come to the dashboard page,
Mhm.
right?
No, it's not. It's not letting me log in. Let me try to reset password and try again.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
second.
So anyway, when you log in, you will see the dashboard page and you have this link, join our Slack channel here. This is the one. You click on this
Okay.
green text and that will
Mhm.
take you to the Slack channel.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Okay. So I have Lydia, Ren. Okay, Ellen, what about you? Are you able to log in?
I was able to log in, but they sent an email for me to put a code, security code or something.
No, you have to click on that link to confirm that the email address is correct. So just see, did you receive the email in the spam?
Let me just go back to the membership request. I've got the membership request. You're welcome. Miss. Log
Yeah,
into
so-
your account.
Correct. So there's a button to confirm your email address, right?
No, I didn't get that.
Okay. Did you create the account?
Oh, right. Yeah, I got. Yeah, it just came now. The email.
Oh, okay. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good stuff. So you're sorted there. Lydia
Vic, I-
here.
I
awesome.
actually I'm in Slack, but I'm not a part of the boot camp.
Okay, let me add you then. Wasm, I got you there.
Yeah,
Good.
there you go.
I got you there. So then I am waiting for Gauri and I'm waiting for Archana. Let me see if Archana is already here.
Did you say we click on the subscribe thing, which is flashing, or join our Slack channel?
Join a Slack channel, yeah, please.
Okay, right.
So Archana.
I cannot
Arch-
log in again.
Did you enter the right password? Archana P, is that you?
Yeah, Archana P.
Yeah, so I think you logged in once, right?
Yeah, I logged in once.
Okay, and that's why it's showing me. Okay, I got you here in the channel.
Okay.
So guys, what you can do is you can download the Slack desktop application, and there you can access our chat. So Slack desktop.
Okay.
Slack desktop for your operating system. You can go to Windows, download Slack, and then it will show you how to download it, and then you can install it, and then you can see your channel on the left-hand side. So you can see mine, and then you can basically interact with me right here. Okay, I have. Okay, I have almost everyone. Gauri, what about you? Are you able to?
I joined the Slack channel, but I'm not able to see this bootcamp.
No problem. I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll add you there. Gauri.
GOUR. Yeah, that Gauri got the last one. Thanks.
No, I didn't add you. Hold on. Okay, I added you there. Okay, and one more person. I'm waiting for Ellen to come in. Ellen, I got you there. Okay. So I got every one of you here. I'm going to just download the Slack desktop. I'm going to upload the YouTube link for this class. It is recorded, so it will take some time to upload. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to send you the slide deck. I'm going to send you the projects that we created today in a zip format. So you can unzip it and then you can put it back into the Eclipse by saying file and then import. Okay. And then you can import the project into it. And you can access the application, the WisdomQ application, and start accessing the assignments. Please ask me questions about the assignments and I will be very happy to help you there. Okay. So yeah, I have everyone here. And I hope you like the class. Let's come back next week. In the meantime, try to complete the assignments. And let's come back next week and then we will continue from here on. Okay.
Where do we download the desktop?
Slack desktop. Just look for Slack desktop.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slack desktop, and then you can basically access me.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining the class today. Have a great weekend and a week ahead. And then I'll meet you guys same time next week. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to,
Thank you,
I'm going to
Sylvia.
send you a Google Calendar invite. This calendar was only for today, 5th of November. I'm going to send you one more calendar invite, all 7 of you, where you can register. I'm not register, just say accept, and it will basically be there for another 3 weeks. And you can basically join with the same Zoom ideally, right? I will mention those details in the calendar and accept that, and then let's meet back next week. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great
Thank you,
weekend.
Sylvia.
Bye-bye.
See you next
Thank
week. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.